What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Hopefully, y'all are doing great this afternoon. You're gonna be watching this tonight or whatever. Um, we're going to do facing life challenge with God. Um, so what does that really mean? That really means that you're facing life with Him. Life is, you know. But let's go ahead and go to Hosea 4:1, and it says this. Hear the word of hear the Lord, hear the word of the Lord, your Israel, because the Lord has a charge to bring against you who lives in the land. There is no faithfulness, no love, no acknowledgement of God in the land. Luke 11:52, and it says this: Who to you expert in the law? Because you have taken away the key to knowledge. Yourself have not entered, and you have hundreds those who are entering. Habakkuk 2:14. It says this: For the earth it will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the water covers the sea. Today's devotional: comforting the darkness. Charles Charles Collison speaks of a return to the Dark Age. When I think of the original Dark Age, I think of a period when the culture was in decline and the process of knowledge was static. But today we read of the problems of explosion of knowledge. It is time when information and the communications of a big business. We hear the cry from the university that knowledge in every field of investigation is increasing so rapidly that no one can assemble it. Even when the most narrow of specialists, the the age of the expert is over. There's words expert most or must now be defined in relevant terms. If knowledge is a light and the light is exposing in the minting or magnute, how can we speak of the dark age? The darkness is in the heart. It is darkness produced by the shroud covered or covering the face of God. 30 years ago, I read a book written by Jewish philosophers and the something Martin Berber. Berber book had a humongous title, The Eclipse of God. This is the eclipse of our age. A shadow has passed over the glory of God. We are the people who will not have God, and thinking we have returned to the polite gate, in which we preferred the dancing shadows on the wall of an underground opinion over the light of trust. Ask God to dispel the darkness in your own mind, soul, spirit through his marvelous light. That is it for that. And then we can do, well, that's it. Now let's go to God's presence and promise. And let's go to February 6th, which was day 4. I know I missed it. Let's go to Psalms. Let's go to 1 Samuel 1 9 17. And it says this. Once once when the once when they had finished eating and drinking, and Shiloh Hannah stood up. Now Eli, the priest, was sitting on his chair by the doorstep or doorpost of the Lord's house. In the deep English, Hannah prayed the Lord, weeping bitterly as we made a fool, saying, Lord Almighty, if you okay, sorry, if you will only look at the servant misery and remember me, and not forget your servant by giving her a son, then I will give you to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his hands or head. Um, as she kept on praying to the Lord, Eli obviously or observed her mouth. Hannah was praying in her heart, and her lips were moving, but her voice was not heard. Eli thought she was drinking, or she was drunk, and said to her, How long are you going to stay drunk? Put away your wine. Not so, my lord, Hannah replied. I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a weak woman. I have been praying here out of a great English or Uggish and grief. Eli answered, Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked him. Let's go to devotional. Trouble. But Hannah answered, No, my lord, I am a woman troubled in spirit. I have I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink. I have I have been pouring out my soul before the Lord. My heart goes out to heaven, or go out to heaven. Hannah, every time I read her story. Um, she was she was born, or she was buried by God, choosing her rival Pinta. A mother many picked on her Merciless. Her husband wondered why he loves couldn't fill the childless void. And then during the family problems to Shiloh, we or she no more than closed out a prayer, and Eli accused her of being drunk. Hannah certainly knew trouble, and yet she always knew the source of the redemption she longed for. I'm defining her fervent prayer. Hannah admit to pouring out her very soul to the Lord. She accused Eli. Her actions were the result of hurt and prevented. She was broken, but knew God would hear her. When we face time of trouble, When we face time of trouble, do we live into the truth of God con- contained care, or do we turn to other sources for comfort? Do we pour out our hearts to Him, or do we choose instead to drown our sorrows and in regret, self pity, or bitterness? God loves Hannah deeply in time. He removed the burden he she carried and filled her arms with a son. When we face trouble, we do well to follow Hannah's example and believe that God or believe that trust pretends in 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. As you pray, leave your boundaries at the throne of grace. Let's go to 5. And let's go to Philippines 4:1-20. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, whom I love and long for my joy and crown, stand firm, the Lord. In the way, dear friends, I plead with Incro, and I plead with Psycho. I don't know how to read it. Today's devotional, an encouraging world, and my God will supply every needs of yours, according to his rich and glory in Christ Jesus. Philippines 4:19. A year ago, I claimed as my life versus Philippines 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say, rejoice. Gently, the first servant of comforting reminds that God always has me in the psalms of his, or palms of his hands. However, on the day when I felt like a dark cloud is on my shoulder, rejoicing seems like a tall order. I think I think most of the people feel the same way. Paul's letter to the church in Philippines or Philip Philippia is seen as one of the most encouraging books in the Bible, and Paul was in a prison when he wrote it. He woke into a change in cell wall each morning, but he still chose to encouraging the believers to rely on God's faithfulness and keep their minds fixed on things above. The apostle didn't take a pass on the duties due to the sorcery, and he doesn't tell the believers that he can skip rejoicing when the dark days or thought or tough times come. He encouraged them to the trust of the to or trust with them or with the trust of he encouraged them with the truth of with who God is, no matter what the whole or what lies ahead. When you are in 100 or when your heart is seasoned for no above's reason, read verse 19 again. And he or and be encouraged that the God who deserves our praise will will pull you through. Then give God your praise no matter what, no matter how large or small they may be today. As you pray today, thank God for encouragement. the Bible presents to us. We hope this plan. Okay, that's it for that. Now let's go to. Give me a second. We're going to read or finish up reading with God's help the devotional form. So let's go to Matthew 16:6, and it says this. Let me. And it says this: Be careful, Jesus says to them. Be on your guard against the yeast of the broads and sorrows. Today's devotional. Who, me? Yeah, right. There used to be a yeast company in my town. It punko musky smell whiffed over the near west side on a produce day. Yeast's ability to respond rapidly makes it impiss indispensable ingredients to beer and bread. God chose to use this wonderful substance as a metaphor for sin, something that masturbates quietly and dangerous. At Passover time, the Jews' house waves were to get rid of every trace of yeast in their kitchen and eat only unfilled bread. Jesus warned his disciples, and he warned you and me with a simple or familiar word pictures. Be on your guard against the yeast of grace. Huh? Who, me? A priors? You're kidding. Jesus' phrase are the other people. Them, not me. Jesus rebuked the furious, the image or the imaging that their will good or they were good enough for God as it that they didn't need a savior that their won't food or provide God's favor that they were superior to the sinner. How common those or attitude, I think, in us as well. The lick of love, spirit, affairs, I don't know. We're going to go to a Bible in a year since we haven't done that in a long time. And that will be good for today. Might want to turn this down just a bit. we're just going to do today's, and let's go to Genesis 15. The Lord covenant with Abram. After the word of the Lord came to Abram in first vision, do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward. But Abram said, Servant, Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless? And the one who will inherit my east is Eslers of Democritus. And Abram said, You have given me no children, so a servant in my household will be my heir. Then the word of the Lord came to him. This man will not be your heir, but a son who is your own flesh and blood. You be hurry, or you be your heir. He took him outside and said, Look at look up look up at the sky and count the stars. If if indeed you can count them. Then he said to him, So shall your offspring be. Abraham believed the Lord, and he created to it and to him of a righteousness. He let's see. Um he also said to him, I am the Lord who brought you out of Ur of the challenge, I guess, to give you the land to take process of it, procession of it. But Abram said, Serving Lord, how can I know that I will give gain processing of it? So the Lord said to them, or to him, Bring me a heifer and a goat, and ram each 3 years, along with a dove and a young pigeon. Abram brought all these to him, cut them into, and argued them halves opposite each other. The birds, however, he did not cut in half. Then birds of prey came down the carcass, but Abram drove them away. As the sun was setting, Abram fell into a deep sleep, and a thick and a dreadful darkness came over him. Then the Lord said to him, Know for certain, for for 400 years, your decisions or descent will be stranger in a country not their own, and that they will be insolved in a misery or mastery there. But I will punish the nations, the servant as slaves, and offer or afterwards they will come out the passion or poison. When you, however, will go to your Ekro in peace and be buried at a good old age. In the fourth generous with your descendants will come back here for a sin of operates. That will conclude today's Bible verse in Daily Bible. So, um, hopefully this works for y'all. I am trying a new thing today. You can see my now. Yeah, you can still see it. So obviously I have a green screen behind me. I will edit that out, or I will edit it to see if it does anything. Um, hopefully y'all like this. Um, but we'll see what happens. Um, Thursday I'll be streaming live against with LSU Nebraska and LSU and Oklahoma State. And then Friday is the big game. So been doing that too. So hopefully y'all have a great day and don't forget to know that I'm always here. If you ever hear this or watch it, it's fine. Just hit the like button, share button. I really do appreciate it, or I would really do appreciate it if y'all would like and give me some subscribers. So